Good morning, everybody. I hope you are having a happy Memorial Day. This is the second part of a series of big ideas that are intended as conversation starters for how our community deals with this crisis. On the first one, Closing the Streets in Aspen, over 100 comments, 15 plus shares across platforms. So thank you. And thank you for engaging constructively. It was really, really helpful. So we're going to do it again. But before we do, I just want to take a moment and say just so much reverence and appreciation for those who have served and given their lives to make all of this possible. We all owe a huge debt of gratitude. And though Memorial Day is for those who have fallen, let us not also forget those who have fought and are struggling. We lose a veteran every day to suicide, and we have lost many, many more people who have come home from the wars in the Middle East here on our soil. And so in this difficult time, we owe them as much as we can in terms of mental health, support, counseling, and just thank you. So please get those out there. So big idea 2. And remember, these are intended to be unvetted ideas that are community conversation starters. So idea 2 is a community works program. What does that mean? It means taking city dollars that we have on hand and investing in organizations that want to invest in our community. So imagine how this works in a few different industries. Agriculture, right? The Farm Collaborative has put forth a proposal that says, hey, more than ever right now, we should be focused on our long-term food security and putting food in the mouths of people who need it. So, city, would you loan us money? And if we take that loan and invest in increasing our production of healthy local organic food, and if we donate some percentage, say 50, 75% of that, to individuals in need in the Valley this year, then that loan becomes a grant. It gets forgiven, right? So we take our money, invest it in something we want with a local organization, and if and only if they are able to repay that, keep those dollars and that activity local by reinvesting in those who we need, well, then we wipe the slate clean. You could imagine the same thing for the arts organizations. Imagine that we help the Santa Fe Ballet, for instance, through this process because they've lost donors, they can't have their events, etc. But they put on public free performances over the summer to re-enliven community, to retether us to the arts. Then that grant or that loan can be forgiven, and in doing so, we serve one another, we invest in what we want long term. The same thing could happen for local businesses or even new businesses, because we talk so much about wanting local sustainable business, and historically we haven't done much to invest in what we want. We've only prevented that which we do not want. So you could imagine any number of situations, and I encourage you to share ideas for how this could work. But the basic premise is, let's think about what we actually want long term. Let's put our dollars where our mouth is. And for those who have a plan to reinvest in community, to keep their dollars local, we should forgive those things and allow them to engage in the work of recovery with local dollars. It's a great way to support local nonprofits and businesses. So that's the idea. As mentioned, unvetted by design. The details have not been worked out. This is intended to start a conversation. So let me know what you think. Does this make sense? Does this make no sense? If it does make sense, for whom and how? Do you have ideas around what would be really great or not? And again, just as you did last time, and thank you for this, I ask that you engage in a yes and way, which is to say, we're not here to demonize others. We're not here to call people names or be stupid. If we're going to point out things that we think are not right, great. But in doing so, we're going to say, I don't think that makes a lot of sense because, and then explain what you would do differently. And that way we are constructively engaging together. So big idea 2, community works plan. Forgivable for community action, and just imagine what we can leave behind. What if 10 years from now we walked around town and there was a huge amount of public art, for instance, and those were the gifts to the community that organizations left to secure their funding as a grant. And what we remember most from this COVID crisis was that. That's the kind of stuff that we're looking for. So happy Memorial Day. The greatest gratitude to all who have served and lost their lives and who serve today. Have a great day, guys.